This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, Healing Together. Runners and walkers take a lap in honor of a Vancouver police officer. Plus, following last year's deadly heat wave, Oregon lawmakers work on a plan to protect our most vulnerable as we grapple with the climate crisis. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a quick look at the forecast. Chris?
And your weekend. Good morning, yes, and a happy Saturday to you, Tim, and everyone at home. Thanks for joining us. We are waking up to, well, dark conditions, of course. Sunrise about 7:23 or so. There is a little bit of cloud cover. We have squeezed out a little drizzle in some of the higher terrain of the Coast Range and in the Cascade foothills as well. Right now, we're 43 degrees last check at PDX. Elsewhere, waking up to temperatures generally in the 40s across the Portland, Vancouver metro area. King City sitting at 42. We go a little farther south into the Willamette Valley right now. Salem sits at 44. You hop over the Cascades into eastern Oregon. It's 2 degrees right now in Baker City. It is cold across the eastern part of the state. You will warm slowly today. All right, radar satellite showing generally a fair amount of cloud cover here and 1 or 2 sprinkles primarily confined to the higher terrain this morning. The clouds will thin. Eventually, we will see some sunshine today. Tim, our Saturday looks great. And you know what? Sunday looks even better. I've got more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Good weekend ahead. Thanks, Chris. Well, we start this half hour in Vancouver. Last night, many people came together to remember the life of Officer Donald Sahota. The Vancouver police officer was shot and killed last Saturday. Alma McCarty shows us the honor mile in his memory.
All right, good evening, everybody.
On the track at Hudson's Bay High School in Vancouver,
the community needs to heal as well.
People of all ages and law enforcement officers from multiple agencies,
all of our runners up front,
line up
in honor of Don
and begin the mile.
Let's go.
With every lap and with every step, remembering the life and service of Officer Donald Sahota.
As I was going by, I'm thinking, oh my, there's people out here, they're talking. I didn't utter a word because my thoughts, and I literally was praying as I went around again, I haven't met his wife, children, family, and now I'm starting to get emotional thinking about it again.
Jay Kitchen says he didn't know Officer Sahota, but he says his unexpected passing is a significant and heartbreaking loss.
My first thought was, how could it possibly happen?
Last weekend, Sahota was shot and killed outside his Ridgefield home by a Clark County deputy. The deputy apparently mistook Sahota for a robbery suspect that had fled to Sahota's home and attacked him.
When I first heard it happened, I broke down in tears.
Jason Hattrick organized Friday's Honor Mile. He's the founder of Kindness 911, a nonprofit connecting first responders with the communities they serve and highlighting acts of kindness.
I never got to meet Don. However, several of my officers have reached out to me who were very, very close to Don. And all I've ever heard is what an amazing human being he was. On duty, off duty, it didn't matter. Great dad, great husband, just a great human being.
Hattrick says he hopes these laps help this community, these first responders, begin to process the grief and the loss.
The importance of tonight truly is we are bringing community together because people need people to heal. Relationships are powerful, and to heal in isolation is really hard. And to get, I don't know how many people are here walking the track tonight, it's powerful. You don't do it for numbers, you don't do it for likes, but you do it for every single heartbeat that's walking the track.
Now, the memorial service for Officer Sahota will be held on Tuesday, February 8th. That's at A Casino. There's also a memorial fund for donations to the Sahota family that's set up through Chase Bank. Well, a procession escorted the body of a fallen volunteer firefighter home. Fellow firefighters and community members lined the highway as the body of Austin Smith was taken to a funeral home in Newburgh. The 30-year-old died battling a barn fire in St. Paul Thursday morning. Smith's family has been in that town for generations and helped start the St. Paul Rodeo. Austin leaves behind a wife and extended family. Well, there is some encouraging news in the pandemic today. The latest numbers show COVID cases are dropping in 49 of 50 states. This comes as the Omicron surge appears to be easing up. Case numbers are trending downward in every state except for Maine. Still, we're at a place in the pandemic where more than 900,000 Americans have now died of COVID. When it comes to COVID hospitalizations, the worst may soon be behind us. The outlook comes from the chief forecaster at OHSU. He says the number of people in Oregon hospitals with COVID should peak this weekend. And then we should see hospitalizations recede to pre-Omicron levels by the end of March. As of Thursday, Oregon had 1,087 people in the hospital with COVID. While that number is putting a big strain on our healthcare system, the average hospital peak across the rest of the U.S. is more than a third higher than what we're seeing here.
And a big part of that actually has to do with the actions people took. Our masking rate is high compared to many other states that tried to kind of rapidly catch up. Also, we took behaviors when other states were getting hit and didn't wait for it to hit here.
Now, for now, officials say it is too soon to let go of safety measures like masking. That's likely being considered as the Oregon Health Authority decides on a new mask rule for indoor public spaces. It would replace the current temporary one that expires next Tuesday. Well, schools are a big topic in the Oregon legislature's short session right now. One discussion is about superintendents. A bill in the Senate would require school boards to provide 12 months notice for a no-cause firing of a superintendent of a district. Immediately, for-cause firings would still be allowed. This comes after several high-profile cases in the last year. That includes Newburgh superintendent, who was fired amid a controversy surrounding political symbols in schools. Officially, his firing was no cause. Well, in the wake of last year's deadly heat wave, lawmakers say it's clear vulnerable Oregonians need help grappling with our climate crisis. Maggie Vespa has more.
I think these were preventable deaths.
Preventable deaths is how State Senator Casey Jama describes the close to 100 Oregonians lost last summer. Officials say they died amid June's record-breaking heat wave. Most were found in their homes without access to air conditioning.
What do we want? More death?
That was the case for Linda Aiken's neighbor. She spoke to us days after the heat wave.
And it was an agonizing, horrible way to die.
Fast forward more than 6 months, the short session is underway in Salem, and lawmakers can't forget the loss.
Anytime that any of us, we lost one of our community members in preventable deaths, it's really heartbreaking.
So they're proposing a pair of bills. House Bill 4058 would direct the Oregon Health Authority to immediately buy and distribute air conditioners to people in need. It would also create a longer-term program to help people install heat pumps in their homes. Those provide heating and cooling. Then there's Senate Bill 1536. This bill would largely prohibit landlords from banning air conditioners in leases. Under this bill, they would have to allow window-mounted AC units as long as those units fit a list of criteria. Their installation can't, for instance, damage the building. That was a big issue during the heat wave. Even as temps soared into the triple digits, tenants told us they were threatened with fines if they installed window-mounted units.
It was 96.
It got up to 96 in here.
Yes.
What did that feel like?
Horrible.
At public hearings this week, groups representing landlords have been weighing in, suggesting amendments, but largely offering support for the bill's goals. Lawmakers say measures like this are the new norm, a growing focus on mitigating the worst impacts of the climate crisis.
I am somebody who always has resisted the idea of adapting to climate change, thinking that we should be changing the indicators that are creating this on the ground. We still need to do that work. But the fact is, what we see now is that people have to have support in order to coexist with these changing conditions.
Now, both bills have bipartisan support and seem poised to pass. The short session lasts a month. Well, still to come, a different kind of comic book. The heroes don't wear capes, but they have an important message, the impact its creators hope to have on our homeless crisis.